while listening to these habits. In fact, I'd argue it's a very important attitude for life generally. Someone who doesn't want to change, or who doesn't think they can change, is not likely to ever change. This is related to a fundamentally important concept in psychology known as growth mindset. In simple terms, this is the belief that we can grow and change and become better. In contrast, some people have more of what we might call a fixed mindset, which is when they believe their attributes, such as happiness or intelligence, are fixed or predetermined, almost as though they were set in concrete. Not surprisingly, people with the latter perspective are less likely to make an effort to change because they don't think change is possible. I invite you now, right now, to take a minute or two to think about your own mindset and reflect upon your own thoughts in this area. Almost all aspects of our psychology and personality are open to change, so if the strategies I talk about don't come easily to you, don't worry. Like most other things in life, if you keep an open mind and practice whatever's necessary, it will get easier and you will get better. You can develop this attitude yourself as you listen and work through the habits. There's no right or wrong way to implement these habits in your own life. You can adopt them to suit your own situation, your own routine. To help with this, you're going to hear from a range of people about how they've implemented the habits I'll be presenting. I'm hoping this will really bring the strategies to life for you and help you to really see how they can work in everyday life. I'm looking forward to sharing my knowledge and experience about what it means to be happy, as well as how you can live a happy life. If that's something that interests you, then keep listening. Habit 1. Create a vision board. So, here's our first habit for happiness. Planning for happiness. If you don't plan for something, you won't achieve it. And if you don't plan for it, no one else will or can do it for you. Planning can happen at any number of levels. If you take the example of financial planning, you might imagine how much you need by the time of retirement and work back to consider how much needs to be saved each year for the intervening period and then even how much needs to be saved each week. You've probably done something similar to this on a smaller scale in another area of your life. Maybe you had an assignment to complete and you mapped out the different stages of the project with dates attached so you'd finish on time. Or perhaps you trained for a fun run or to complete one of those commando-style obstacle courses. I did that a few years ago, and although I was relatively confident about the strength side of things, I hadn't done distance running in a while, and completing the event required running more than 20 kilometres. So in the lead up to the race, I started off running short, manageable distances, gradually increasing my runs so that I was comfortably running over 10 kilometres each time at a decent speed by the time the day of the course arrived. In each of these scenarios, the result is made achievable by breaking down the path that gets you there and planning out the intermediate steps. We can do exactly the same thing for our life plans, beginning with the ultimate goal, your ideal life, your best possible life, your dream existence. What would your ideal life look like at some reasonable point in the future? It doesn't really matter if you look 20, 10, 5 or even 1 to 3 years ahead. You're imagining a future that's full of health and happiness, success and satisfaction. In reality, none of our lives will be perfect. Life's messy, and we're fallible, and no one should expect perfection when it comes to living. That being said, we should set our aim high for something wonderful and special. Happiness is different for everyone, you see. Although there are definitely common themes that we all share in our ideal versions of happiness, it's also important to recognise that we're all different. We have different aspirations and beliefs, different personalities, different cultural and family backgrounds. So although there'll be similarities in our dreams and goals, there will also be differences. The problem is, most people don't give this enough thought.
Para seguir escuchando este audiolibro gratuitamente, haz clic en el enlace de la descripción y podrás escucharlo completo sin coste gracias a la prueba de 30 días de Audible.